It is Tuesday, November 25th here at the West End Gun Club. It's almost 6:30. Out here at the range this morning on a weekday to do a run-through of the December 2025 NRL22 Course of Fire. It is actually kind of a miserable morning here at the range, all things considering. It's breezier than I thought it was going to be. And we're looking at about 10-mile-an-hour winds right now, steadily, maybe 15 gusts. So it's not a great day to shoot rimfire. I wouldn't be too concerned with wind if it were consistent here at this range. It swirls in here and the direction that it takes because of how the rimfire range is cut into this hill, in the side of this hill within a canyon. So the direction of the wind changes constantly. So there really is no predictor here. Anyway, we're going to make the best of it. Took the day off from work to come out here to shoot this and kind of just prep all the targets and figure out where all the stages are going to be put on our range for match day. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and eat a snack before we start because I've been here for about an hour plus just getting all the stuff fixed from the last match, moving all the targets to the different target stands, reorganizing everything. So we'll take a quick break from setting up and then we'll dive right into the Course of Fire run through. The first stage in the December 2025 NRL22 Course of Fire is Reindeer games. We have two banks of targets. We have a 1-inch and a 1.5-inch on a double hanger at 59 yards, and we have a 2.5-inch on a single hanger at 96 yards. This is a 12-round stage, 120-second part time as per usual. We have this weird barricade set up with a tank trap, middle tip pointed downrange, and a tire is straddling that middle tip. And they give us four positions on this Course of Fire. Facing downrange left to right, we have position 1, position 2 on the tire, position 3 on the tire, position 4 on the tip. So left tip, left tire bisected by the front tip, right tire, and then right tip. Left, left, right, right. No restrictions here. Standing rifle high ready, all gear in hand, mag in action open. On the start signal, engage the targets with one shot each in the following order and manner. Left tip far, left side tire, near large, near small. Right tire, near large, near small. Right tip far twice, which is what they kind of confuse you here because they say one shot each on each target, but there's only the far target twice here. Then right sided tire, near small large. Left side, near small large. Left tip far. So just think in your head, the tips are going to be the far target regardless, but you're going to go far target one shot. Near, large, small, far twice, near, small, large, far once. So basically one shot, two, and one. But you got to think far target on tips, left to right is going to be large to small, right to left, small to large. Just keep that in your head or just write it down if you can't remember that. It should be pretty straightforward as far as that's concerned, but let's go ahead and try this out. As far as this stage in the Course of Fire, pretty straightforward. We are shooting an upward angle here at the West End Gun Club. I ran a single bag, which is this new bag that I got, which is already dirty. This is the Game Changer Schmedium, an orange. I just got an orange one just so it's easier to see. Because I plan on using this for NRL Hunter, but it's filled with Specs Light, I think it's called. And it's their sand alternative, 25% lighter than sand, but not non-absorbent or less absorbent. So anyway, trying this out today. Ran it on this stage. I was debating on trying to just kind of decide if I'm going ears up for this or ears down. I think ears down might be better. It all depends on your tire and how it's oriented for your venue. But at ground level, you'll probably just want to go ears down, and it'll just straddle that corner correctly. But again, we're shooting an upper angle here at the West End Gun Club, 4 or 5 degrees. So if I went ears up, I can kind of get more. I have more control of my bag to like manipulate the elevation, and I have that wider, longer, flat surface for my gun, as opposed to like this. I don't know. I can't adjust the elevation. It's kind of just gonna mold to this section here, and I won't have enough angle to target, and I'll just be using like this section of the bag. I guess I can try to manipulate like this. Maybe that will work. I can just got barely hanging on the ear, but as far as the front of that lip of the tire at the angle it's at. But I feel like ears up gives me more control. I don't know. It's all up to you. It's all personal preference. Other than that, that's pretty much it for this stage. No, I think the issue at hand though is just dialing for parallax. If you want to just run parallax, I think you're wasting a lot of time adjusting for parallax. And early in the morning with the sun, the targets in the shade, I had a hard time finding targets because I didn't paint them this morning because it was just too windy to paint them, and they were shot up from the last match, and so I had a hard time seeing my targets, and so I had to adjust parallax, and I wasted time. So I think in retrospect, given your conditions, at least for the next time I shoot this, when we shoot our match here, I'm likely going to set my parallax for the near targets at 59, and that's slightly a few yards after, just a little bit out of focus further, and just leave it there and not touch it, and hope that I can see the 2.5-inch target at 96 yards in the shade, because it was really hard to pick out unless I adjusted parallax. So we'll see where that stands. But trying to adjust parallax and moving on what equates to 7 positions, it takes a lot of time. So I feel like you really can't adjust parallax, and you're definitely not going to adjust elevation, I don't think. It's just, it's 7 positions, 6 movements from start. So once you establish, you got 6 more movements. You got to be optimal or efficient in your gun manipulation. So, and I feel like adjusting elevation and or parallax is just going to be too time consuming. Unless you're really good at setting up your positions easily, then maybe you have time. Anyway, practice it, see how it goes for you as far as being able to swap positions rapidly and multiple times, and creating shooting at different targets at different distances without adjusting parallax. Anyway, that's it for this stage in the Course of Fire. Let's move on to the next one. The next stage of fire, the second stage of fire we're going to run through is called Supporty. 12-round stage. We have 2 sets of targets. We have a 1/2-inch and 3/4-inch KYL at 40 yards. Then we have a 2-inch on a single hanger at 76 yards. We have a ladder stage. Restriction is a position cannot be repeated. 12-round stage, start standing, rifle with the high ready, all gear in hand, mag in, action open. On the start signal, take a prone supported position and engage the KYL rack large to small, then the far target, with 1 shot each from your support/weak side. You will repeat this target engagement from your support weak side. So basically prone, if you're a right-hand shooter, you're shooting left side. If you're a left-handed shooter, you're shooting right side. So that when he says support side, you must use your opposite eye, opposite hand, opposite shoulder in order to operate the trigger, shoulder the gun, and aim through your rifle. I know that there's some people who have tried to just shoot support side, left eye, but then they'll use their right hand to pull the trigger. You must use the entire support side for the trigger actuation and the support side for your eye for sighting in. So that being said, prone supported position, KYL rack large to small, then far target, one shot each. Large, small, far, then repeat large, small, far, prone, support side. Then you'll transition to one of the 5 positions on the ladder and engage the targets in the same order, but with your normal side, strong side. After your 3rd shot, you must move to a different position on the ladder and repeat the target engagement. So basically, you're going to shoot the all 3 targets, one shot each, 2 cycles, support side prone, then ladder. From the regular side, you'll shoot 1 iteration, then you'll have to move to another rung and then shoot again. So basically 3, then 3, pick a rung, 3, then move to another rung and 3. And that's pretty much it. You're going to stay static here, then 1 and 2. So 1, 2, 3. 3 different positions, 6 and 3 and 3. So 12 rounds total. Pretty straightforward. And let's go ahead and try to shoot this stage, and we'll see if I have this set up correctly. These poles are in the way, kind of, but it is what it is. You'll just have to shoot farther away from the ladder. But let's go ahead and try this stage out. I got to grab some mags, and then we'll go from here. So this stage is going to be very difficult in my opinion. The issue at hand is at this range we are shooting the KYLs at ground level, and the 76-yard target is about 5 degrees taller angle, and so that's going to cause huge problems trying to, because you have to adjust your bag twice from the prone position just to shoot the KYL, then adjust your bag to shoot high up angle to lower down. And it's going to cause problems. I had a hard time finding the target. It's a white target, berm, dirt. You can barely see it. So it's really going to be tough. I think people might actually time out just trying to find the target if they're not aware of it, especially if you're dialed in close and you're not lining up your gun before you get behind the scope. So this is going to be very difficult, I think, especially support side. If it were regular side, I don't think it would be that much of a big deal because you're just used to it. But now you're kind of struggling using support eye, not used to shooting, looking out through your left eye and use your left shoulder and adjusting your bag. So I think this is going to require a lot of practice, I think, for this stage to shoot support side and being able to adjust your bag quickly and your gun angle quickly. Once you finish once you finish off the prone, it's easy to get back to the ladder. And so some people will instinctively want to try to shoot prone. I think it's just easier the fact that I need to get my bipod off and I need to get my body up. It's easier for me just to go ahead and shoot kneeling. So I just shot kneeling from both these, the second from the lowest and third, the middle rung for me. That's what I feel most comfortable with. You may decide to shoot something else in a different manner, but that's the way I shot it. So, I mean, I think this is going to be a very problematic stage for many people. Inexperienced for sure. Novices, you're definitely going to fumble this stage quite a bit. So, West End Gun Club attendees, I'll do the best I can to like maybe paint that target so it's easier to see from from here, because it's also in the shadows, so it's hard to make out. Like once you're behind your scope and your left eye or your non-dominant eye is usually a little bit weaker, and so it's not as easy to detect stuff. So yeah, it's gonna be a problem. My only advice here is shoot, and then before you get behind your scope, make sure you don't touch your rifle and just kind of, well, it's going to be hard not to touch your rifle because you have to adjust your bag. So I don't know. I really have no other advice, maybe just to keep it out to 12 at most as far as your magnification. And I'll do the best I can to make that target findable from prone, because you also can't see the stand from this position. When you're prone, you can't see the base where I have a flag. So I'll do what I can to make that target a little bit more visible. You can make it out, because it's going to be tough ground level than trying to find it at an upward angle berm from a support side prone. Yeah. Anyway, tough stage. Let's go ahead and move on to the next one. Next stage we're running through is called Alta Arms A's. 120-second part time, 12 rounds. We have two targets. We have a 2.5 inch on a single hanger at 81 yards and a 3 inch on a single hanger at 91 yards. We have the pyramid set up in this manner, and they have defined target positions marked 1, 2, 3 on the inside, 4 on the outside, 5 on the outside, 6 on the inside. So 6 different positions, and I will have those marked on match day as such. Standing, rifle to high ready, all gear in hand, mag in action open. On the start signal, engage the targets with one shot each, near then far, from positions 1 through 6. You must use the positions in order as pictured below. If you cannot reach the 4th rung, which is this one, positions 2 and 5 you may use the 3rd rung for those positions. So just basically come down 1 rung, but use the outside. So for position 2, you'd shoot here where my gun's at. For position 5, you would shoot here. So just one shot each, near far. It's not that difficult. Straightforward. It's just six positions. 5 movements technically, 1 to get set, then 5 additional movements. Let's go ahead and try this one out and see how it goes. This stage is pretty straightforward. I dialed 1 and held 0.4. I've dropped 2 rounds because the wind caught up hard, and it was, well, I dropped 3 rounds. So 3 rounds, the wind apparently is going right to it's going to the right, so I need to come left. So left to right. I thought it was going right to left because of that, because of the way it's coming in and the dirt is flying. But apparently the wind is more predominantly coming in from this side. So anyway, I've dropped 3 rounds there. But the stage itself is pretty straightforward as far as the what you're doing. It's just near far in this move. 6 positions total, 5 movements after you're set. I ran 2 bags. I ran rail attached bag, and then I just ran the pump pillar for the just the prone state or the prone sections, positions 1 and 4. Other than that, that's kind of it. I mean, I don't like. I ran the rail attached bag just to simplify my movements here. In all honesty, I think because I don't like how I have to like can't my rifle to dive it into this small window with that rail attached bag because my gun is so tall, given the big scope and the 1.5 inch one piece mount that I'm running for my scope. So I don't know. Sometimes I just like to put the bag there first and then punch my gun in through. But here I have to kind of like camp my gun and get it in. So a rail attached bag is faster in that regards, except when you're coming in through this window here. So pick your poison, but I ran 2 bags. Either way, I'm going to run 2 bags, whether it's rail attached and pump pillow or just game changer and then a pump pillow by itself. So anyway, that's it for this stage. Let's move on to the next one. The next stage of fire we're running through is called Buckets of Joy. It's a 12-round stage. We have 2 banks of targets. We have a 1.5 inch and 2 inch on a double hanger at 65 yards and a 3 inch on a double at 100 yards. No restrictions here. We have a 4 barrel bucket setup. We have the 55-gallon barrel upright, 55-gallon barrel sideways, a 5-gallon bucket upside down, 2-gallon bucket upside down. And this is the bonus time stage. If you finish with extra time on the clock, you get bonus points. Standing, rifle to high ready, all gear in hand, mag in action open. On the start signal, engage the targets with 1 shot each, large to small, near, large to small, then far from the following 4 barricades. The vertical barrel, horizontal barrel, 5-gallon bucket, 2-gallon bucket. Barricades may be used in any order. So, it's near to far, large to small. 3, 3, 3, and 3. 3, 3, 3, and 3. For 12 rounds total, 4 positions. I don't know. I think most people will just naturally go left to right. And, I don't know. Maybe to go left to right. I personally would. I just like to shoot. I don't like to shoot this quasi-prone. And plus, we shoot at an upwards angle, so it's even worse shooting kind of a prone position from here. So I usually like to start upright. So I'm going to start on the barrel. So let's go and try this one out. This stage appears harder than it actually is. Once you run through, it's actually pretty simple and straightforward. I went left to right, shot off the top of the barrel, side of the barrel, then the 2 buckets, pump pillow, and then a medium game changer. And so I'm having audio problems earlier this morning, and I was when I was talking about this bag, I was like, my audio wasn't working. But this is the game changer medium with Specs Light, Specs, whatever. God, and I can't remember the name. Specs Light. I think it's Specs Light. Anyway, it's 25% lighter than sand. It's their sand alternative, and it's like non-absorbent. Anyway, I'm trying this out just to get a lighter, heavy bag. And so when I ran it, if you look at a game changer, normally you have the ear section, and most people put the barricade like underneath like this. Like, so if you're on a rail or something, that fits there, so the ear's down. So with this stage, what I'm actually doing is I'm flipping it upside down. And I sort of just, the flat side is down, and then I kind of let the bag shake so the sand is going down, and so it fills the ears, and once it clamps together, it creates this surface area here. And so that's what I was doing. Basically, that's what I prefer to do sometimes. And then I ran that on top of the barrel and then shot off the barrel. And this gives me also the ability to adjust a little bit better, because the way the ears are, it's kind of sloped or rounded on this section. So the way the flats kind of come together, so it makes it a little bit more rounded there for me, and it stretches out this area, makes it way wider. So I have a flatter area to rest my gun on, and I can rock it back and forth to get elevation adjustment. So I ran there, and same here with the barrel, although the side of the barrel, I ended up dropping the gun or dipping the gun slightly, which caused me to miss here, but I should have slowed down a little bit. I think I don't remember off the look in the video, I think I shot knees down, or I might have went like this. Granted, I probably should have just went knee up, or I don't know. It's up to you, knee up or just both knees down, and just get a nice position. You can control the bag here. Just hold the bag with your support hand, keep it in place. Try not to put too much force on the gun to cause a wobble, but I can just see it bounce a little bit, and just time it correctly within your pulse bounce. And then once I move to the buckets, it's basically just using this pump pillow as my support for my rear. And the way I had my bag set up, I think that I wasn't able to get it fully supported on the 5-gallon barrel. I had to kind of put my hand in between just to get enough stable enough. But on the 2.5-gallon or a 2-gallon bucket, it was easy enough that I can get my gun all the way back down. So on flat ground, you guys will probably have to run with a bigger support bag to get that kind of rear support. But we're shooting an upward angle here at the West End Gun Club, so we can actually use this for rear support. It's a lot easier because the gun is going to be angled up, and the butt of the toe or the butt of the rifle will be closer to the ground. So that's why we can use these pump pillows in this manner. But I'm not entirely sure if you're shooting level ground, you may just want to shoot kind of just maybe sitting. I can scrunch my body down enough to shoot this one, but that one definitely, for the 2-gallon bucket, you'll probably want to shoot prone. Anyway, again, I think this one is it looks harder than it actually is, but run through it. You can run through it smooth, kind of take your time, and you should be able to make hits. Anyway, let's move on to the last stage in the Course of Fire. Last stage of fire running through is called Elf on a Shelf. It's a 10-round stage. We have 2 banks of targets, a 1-inch on a double hanger at 50 yards, 2.5-inch on a double hanger at 97 yards. We have this barricade set up with a sawhorse and a quote-unquote shelf here. We don't have a shelf sawhorse. So I put this 2x4 here. That's what they have, that little thing on here for the sawhorse. They have these 2 little deals that come out to rest a 2x4 or some other object. Then we have a 2-tire stack on cinder blocks. And these tire will be bisected into quadrants with an X. Put an X through it, left, right, front, rear. No restrictions here. Standing, rifle at the high ready, all gear in hand, mag in, action open. On the start signal, engage the targets with 1 shot each, near then far, from the following positions. Prone. Oh, so we need to figure out how we're going to do prone here. I guess we'll go on the right side. Prone, top of the sawhorse, shelf of the sawhorse, 2 different positions on the tires. Barricades may be used in any order. And a club provided tripod. Rear support may be used and fully deployed prior to the clock starting. Oh, I actually forgot my tripod. So we will use. I usually use my TVC22i for the club tripod, but we'll just use my TFCT 34, and we'll run that as my because I'm not using it right now for my tripod or anything. So let's go ahead and let me think about this for a second, and then we will try to shoot this stage. Yeah, just thinking in my head how I'm going to shoot this. Oh, that wind took that one hard. But now the dirt is going right to left, but once it goes to the right. Oh man, wind is strong right there. It is so funny. I barely finished the time. Oh, I took too much wind. All right. This stage, basically 5 positions, 4 movements, 2 shots per position. If you're gonna run the the tripod, it could add some extra difficulties for you if you're trying to hold all the gear. Debate whether or not I could have just used the tripod for my rear support instead of using the bag for rear support. I could have just placed the bag on the tire ready to go and just use this for rear. Maybe that would have been the way to go. Because I had to manipulate my bag for this stage because we're shooting at an angle. The 50-yard target is on the ground level, And then the 97 or 96 yard, or whatever it is, that targets at like a 5-degree angle. So for the ground level, I had to stack my bag like this, and then I had to readjust my bag for lower rear support at the 97. So 96, 97, whatever it is. I can't remember what the what the distance is. 97. Either way, I held 1.7. But that being said, so I had to manipulate the bag twice. And that kind of slowed me down. So should I just use my tripod for rear support? Maybe that should have been the play, for given that we're changing elevations or changing the gun angle. Should have tried that out instead. And then just drop my bag here, go here, shoot, then have my bag just readjusted for this tire. And so again, I tried to flip the bag here, give me a little bit more of ability to manipulate the bag on the tire, and then have a flatter base contact for the wider, flatter contact for my rifle forend. Same concept here, and then just dropped it here. So I shot rear and left. Some may opt to shoot right side because it's closer, or depending on how your setup is for your match venue. But we just have this natural spot here, so that's why I went prone here. Could go left side of the tire, maybe, but I figured that the back side of the tire is the most stable because you're not going to cant to the one side. So I would prefer to shoot at least the rear. The front is going to be hard to shoot because you just can't get that elevation. If you're shooting ground level, that'd be perfect because you can just bring your gun up and point down. But here we can't bring our gun down to point up. So the front side is almost negated at the West End Gun Club. It's almost like you can't even use that position. So you're pretty much stuck, at least for an incline, inclined angle of attack. We're going to either shoot right, left, or rear of the tire on the stage. So then from there, I just flipped my bag back around to the natural ears down and just went on to the top of the sawhorse because we're already standing up, and then dropped back down to the prone to shoot the shelf. And then I use that for rear support, of course, on these two. So maybe I should have just used this for rear support from the beginning to keep it all the same and not have to manipulate my bag. It would have been easier. So I think I might have saved me a couple seconds. Anyway, that's it for this stage. And I think for Course of Fire, I'm going to go ahead and clean up the targets. And given some audio difficulties, I'm going to re-record a segment or two. So it may look funny in the lighting, the jump in lighting from beginning to end. Anyway, let's go ahead and start cleaning up, and then take care of what we need to take care of, and we'll wind down this range vlog. We'll go ahead and quickly discuss this bipod and the last range vlog at the match. If you watched it, you saw that I picked up the MDT CKYE-POD Gen 3 double pull, and this is the newest bipod from MDT. This is the newest generation of their SkyPods. Picked this up from Wayne, one of our competitors, our matches. He runs a company or online store, Precision Work. So if you're interested in MDT products and you're in the SoCal area, reach out to Wayne, and I'll put a link to his website in the video description. But I did run it this morning, very limited. I mean, we only had 2 prone stages. And as far as what I'm seeing here, so first things first, I picked a double pull because if I was starting from scratch and I wanted a SkyPod, I would not have gotten a single pull, because that's what I first bought, was a single pull. But in my opinion, you should just get the double pull. It's the best all around of the SkyPods in terms of what you get as far as height and versatility. So I think the double pull is the best option. I think it's only $100 more than a single pull. So that's why I went double pull. But I needed to get a new SkyPod because I no longer have a single pull SkyPod, because I converted my single pull to what is essentially a triple pull with the R3D carbon legs. So if you haven't seen those, I'll put a link to that review on what that tripod or bipod now looks like. So I don't really have a SkyPod that's usable just for basic NRL22. I could use my triple pull if I wanted to, but it's overkill for NRL22. That being said, I didn't want to buy another SkyPod because I knew they were coming out with the Gen 3s before SHOT Show, and they did. These came out 2 weeks ago, and I could have gotten from another vendor, but I just waited until Wayne got them in stock, and I bought it from Wayne. But out of the box, it looks pretty interesting as far as the changes they made. First things first, you'll notice is that they got rid of that grip tape stuff. They used to use like what equated to skateboard grip tape. They got rid of that because that stuff just peels off anyway, or it just gets beat up, and you kind of have to use some sort of adhesive remover just to clear it out and then add your own grip tape. So they just made knurling on here, which should be better in the long run. They basically changed out the head. They removed the head, and it's now panless. There's no pan. And I think they just realized that people were removing the pan feature because LRT Manufacturing came out with their fat trimmer, which basically replaces the head on a SkyPod Gen 2 and removes the pan feature, and it lightens it up by 4 ounces. MDT probably saw that and said, hey, everyone else is doing this after the fact. We might as well just remove pan if nobody wants it. And for the, the fact is, I never used the pan feature on the SkyPod. I don't know anybody who really cared about the pan feature. It was always locked out for me. And so I'm glad they got rid of it. It's just a waste of weight. Pan, they added their own clamp, and actually, it's actually pretty decent. It is adjustable. You can adjust the tension. It's Picatinny and Arca in one clamp. It's not bad. I'll give you that. It is arm 17 though, so if I felt inclined, I can just remove this and put my Really Right Stuff clamp on here with R lock or RS lock, since I use RS lock rails. But it's not a bad clamp. I'll give MDT credit there. The body looks a little bit different. Looks like they redesigned it. It's recontoured. You'll notice that they added these bigger knobs for the leg adjustment in terms of bringing the legs up and down. And so PR Shooting Solutions came out with their own little pod knobs. People were buying those and replacing the ones on the SkyPod Gen 2s after the fact. So I'm guessing MDT saw that people were paying, aftermarket to change those out. So I guess they just decided, hey, we'll make that improvement there. The one other improvement that you'll notice here is the fact that the legs are locking. So the legs do not pull out anymore. Before with the Gen 2, you can just pull it out without having to touch the lever here, and they'll just go all the way out. That's great for speed, but it's not a big deal just to hit that lever and move it, right? The one problem I noticed with the SkyPod Triple Pull Gen 2 is that when you had the bipod on the gun and the legs up, on recoil, the legs would just start to move out because it's jumping the detent under recoil. And since it doesn't lock out, it's just moving on its own. I've seen it. If you look back at some of my videos, if you ever see me shoot with the bipod up on a barricade and the triple pulls attached to my gun, on recoil, you'll just notice that the legs will just sort of just work their way forward. And it looks kind of weird because one of my legs will be short and the other ones will be longer. And that's just something that's happened on the triple pull. Never noticed it on the single pull, but definitely on the triple pull. But now on the Gen 3s, the legs are now locking. So those levers lock. You have to just press the lever to move it up or down. I don't know. I think I like it locking. I think it's better. It's just more secure. And it looks like the legs are redesigned though, and the way they attach to the body here, because these probably are different. It looks the way they designed the hinge here. So they're probably not compatible from Gen 3 to Gen 2s. Other than that, I think the little detents here to adjust the angle, the spread of the leg is these little pins are a little bit different. It seems like they're kind of thin, just bigger heads. I don't think the head diameter makes much of a difference to me, but I think that pin diameter is more concerning to me because I bent them before. So I wish they made an improvement there. As far as the leg actuation, it does feel smoother, but it could just because these are new. We'll find out what happens after we've got grit, dust working their way in there, and then we're still moving the legs and actuating them, because that's going to end up acting like sandpaper, and it'll probably roughen this up, and we'll see how smooth it is after some use. Anyway, we'll have more on this probably in the future, but hey, SkyPod Gen 3, check them out. Apologies for the wind noise. It is windy, but I came to the upper part of the range to wind down this range vlog. The junior directors or the youth program directors came with a couple of kids to shoot some rimfire. I guess they got to qualify for something. So since they're shooting and I was already done, I figured I'll just vacate, let them have the range in peace, and I can record my outro here. And anyway, as far as the December 2025 NRL22 Course of Fire, I think it's actually, I would rank it 3 out of 5 for difficulty in terms of just average difficulty for average NRL22 people. It's going to be a little bit more difficult. Lots of movements for this one. I think there's 3 12-round stages, 3. And I've come to find out that, 12-round stages does handicap people with only 10-round mags. It is what it is, but You have to definitely time your mag changes correctly and get your cadence. So planning those out is important. But other than that, there's a stage with 6 movements, another stage with 5, and another stage with 3. I'm trying to think in my head. I don't have the Course of Fire. It's all in the Jeep. I don't have it in my hand, but I think there's a lot of movements here. That KYL stage with the support side, that is going to be a problem. I think that's definitely going to be a problem for people. I think the key thing is finding your target. I think that what slowed me down on that stage is finding the far target from support side, because we have to change elevation. I have to bring my gun up, adjust my bag so I can get from level ground to elevated ground. And your parallax are 40, and you have to find it in the dirt with a shot of target at 70 something yards. Very difficult. So I'm going to do my best to do something so the target is, you can find it, because that's not the point of NRL22's hide targets, right? Make them so people know where they're at. Let them find it, and the skill is just make your shots. So, and wind call, of course. Anyway, that's it for that. I guess the Course of Fire. It's getting really windy right now. Weather reports at 5 gentle breeze, 5 mile an hour gentle breeze. Not a gentle breeze. I would say this is about 8 or 9 with 15 gusts. But I'm going to go ahead and shoot the 7 PRC just to close out my range session before I head out. I do have a dental appointment in the afternoon, so I'm going to go home, ditch my gear, probably clean up a little bit, change my clothes, and then go to the dentist. Our next match is going to be December 28th, I believe. I think I have the dates right. I think Christmas is Thursday, so 28th will be our next match. So the fourth Sunday after, it's going to be after Christmas. So fourth Sunday of December, Sunday after Christmas. If you're in the area, please come on out. If you're visiting family in SoCal and you want to shoot a match with us. We do have a loaner rifle, Tika T1X. If you want to borrow that, let me know. And you can borrow that rifle, just compensate us for the ammo that you use, because we do have the ammo for that gun. So anyway, that's it for today. Tuesday, November 25th, here at the West End Gun Club. Thanks for watching. Have a happy Thanksgiving. I'll see you in the next vlog.